Plugins have become a very important force in the producer community. From instrument plugins to effects plugins, we've taken things to a whole different level in the music producer community. So today I'm going to show you 4 plugins that have a very huge impact on my beats, and they could help you as well. What's up, producers? It's me, and they call me Heat. I'm a music producer of over 10 years, and on this channel right here, I show producers how to make some of the best boom bap hip hop style beats. Plugins. Everybody talks about plugins. What plugins should I use? It just gets expensive over time. But luckily for us producers, there are free alternative plugins to a lot of the plugins that are out there. Now, again, I'm going to show you 4 plugins that I use that have a very huge impact on my beats. I'm talking from beat making itself to mixing my beats and making them sound good, to making my drums knock, Let's get into the first one. Now, not really something that's really needed, but I love it because it gives me a lot more control. I've had limited use or limited options, and then this plugin came around and just gave me everything. And that plugin is Serato Sample. Very, very amazing plugin. I love this plugin, and let me show you why. So here's Serato Sample. Serato has been around for years. They've supplied the DJs for a very long time. And essentially you can throw any audio into this plugin, whether it's an 808, it's a sample, it's vocals, whatever it may be, you can throw it in here and you can chop it up accordingly. For me, I have a preset on my keyboard where I've set up the first and the bank A and bank B to be, all of the pads or the key or whatever on Serato Sample. So I can chop it by, just hitting a pad on my keyboard.
Why does it seem so inviting?
When you get it in Serato Sample, it automatically detects the pitch and the BPM. So we're at 70.31 BPM, as you can see here, and then we're B flat in as far as the key that the original song is in. I changed it, pitched it up 2 semitones, and actually got the tempo down to 81.5 or up to 81.5. Now they do have a lot of different controls where you can change the level of each individual chop. You can filter each individual chop. You can add an attack and a release on each individual chop. So attack is how much it cuts in. Release is how much it plays. And then, you can change the key of the sample right on each individual chop or of the whole song like I did. They also have a time stretch option, so you can time stretch each individual chop as well. Or you can change the whole overall BPM of the sample, which is super dope. And it doesn't really affect it too crazy. It doesn't make it sound all grainy and stuff, because Serato has one of the best audio algorithms out there besides Ableton. I'm sorry, FL, but they do. You can do a lot with this plugin with all these controls that they give you. If you're liking the video so far, you're liking what you're seeing, please do not hesitate to hit that thumbs up button down there below, right below the video, just letting YouTube know, yo, I like this, and I know that somebody else would like it too. All right, appreciate you. Now, the next plugin on my list here it's a beast. It's a super dope EQ. It's a vintage EQ, and normally you'd get it in a rack. It'd be a little small rack. They put it in what's called a lunchbox, and then you have the big rack version of it as well. But this is just the digital version. We're talking plugins here, so digital, not analog, and it's called the Neve 1073 EQ by UAD, and that's this very simple plugin right here. So this plugin literally has 5 knobs and 2 buttons. This creates a type of grit that I like. It gives it this higher end growl on the sounds or whatever sound I'm using it on, and I use this on my kicks. There's a preset called Huge Kick. What it does is it brings up certain levels, certain frequencies of the kick drum. I'm going to show you what it sounds like on my kick without it, and then I'm going to show you what it sounds like with it. That kick just sounds real thin, right? All right, so now if I throw that EQ, I throw the Neve on there, it sounds like this. Just just sounds so much more rounder, right? It sounds so much better. I also put just a normal EQ that just cuts a little of the low end out. Just wanted to smooth the kick out, that's all. Just wanted to smooth it out because that Neve EQ really boosts things up, really brings it out, and there's no way to necessarily control it because it automatically it boosts broad, and then it, you know, when you're reducing or doing subtractive EQ with it, it subtracts broad as well. So I'm just meaning, what I mean by that is when it boosts up, it boosts very wide like that. When you do subtractive, it removes it very wide as well. So you got to be careful with this EQ because you can't necessarily control the bandwidth of the actual frequency. I love this EQ, very dope. So once I put all of my effects on it after using that EQ, my kick came out like this. Whew, that's an EQ right there, I'm telling you. Yo, listen, if you struggle at all with making better beats, or if you struggle with mixing your beats, let's say you got great beats, but you just struggle with making it sound good, head over to boombapuniversity.com. I have a few courses over there that will help you with your beat making process, as well as your mixing process. Gotta have better beats in order to sell more beats. You gotta have better beats to get more placements, right? Let me help you with that. I got the Cooking That Boom Bap Masterclass, which will walk you through the full beat making process as to how I make my beats. And I also have the Mixing and Mastering Your Beats Like a Pro Masterclass, which will show you exactly the full process as to how to mix your beats. And there's a bonus in there as well on how to mix vocals too. So I'm gonna show you all of that at boombapuniversity.com. Head over there, grab up those courses. I promise you, 15 years of proven experience to get you right. All right, let's get back into the video. Now, the next plugin that we're gonna talk about, we're going into the stock world here. All right, and if you're not on FL Studio, a lot of DAWs or other DAWs have the same plugin. Not the same, you know, exact one that FL has, but something similar. They all have this type of plugin, and that is the multi-band compressor. So right here is a multi-band compressor. Multi-band compressor is basically a compressor that you're able to compress each individual frequency band. So you got your low frequencies, you got your mid frequencies, and you have your high frequencies. With the multi-band compressor, you're able to compress, or, you know, kind of contain frequencies with a compressor when using a multi-band compressor. I had a piano loop here that I used from Cymatics, and it sounds like this. Now that sounds good. It sounds pretty good. I could literally just EQ it, maybe take out some of the low or low mid area just to clean it up a little bit. But the thing I like about using the multi-band compressor is it just tames certain frequencies that I like. So a multi-band compressor is basically a compressor that has 3 different bands, so your low, your mid, your high, and you take those bands and you're now able to essentially compress them. So they have a preset in here on FL Studio called Warmer. If you know what, you know, achieving a warmer sound means, you're more so taking out a little bit of that high end, so you're kind of cutting back on the high end. So if you listen to a lot of plugins, they say, oh, we're giving you a warmer sound. It might give you a warmer sound, but it also cuts a little bit of the high out to allow the low and the mid to shine through. When I threw that multi-band on here, this is pretty much what happened. Here's without it again. Here's with it. Now it is very heavy on it, so you can pull back if you don't know anything about compression and how to use compression itself. So once you understand the basics of compression, you'll understand what the multi-band compressor can do for you and the possibilities that it has for you. Once I threw that warmer preset on it, as you can hear, a lot more of the elements started coming out. Once I put that warmer preset on there, I did add a parametric EQ2 just to kind of cut out some of that low end. But as you hear with the multiband, it still sounds a little over compressed. I like that sound. I like that style. Madlib created that sound. Well, not really created it, but Madlib has that sound in his beats a lot, where if he's using the 303, he's using the 404, the 202, whatever he's using, it runs that compressor preset. I like the over compressed sound that it gives. So you won't use that in every single beat, but the multiband compressor will help with achieving that sound essentially. Now we're back with another stock plugin. I just want to stress that there's nothing wrong with stock plugins. Like, a lot of us have some really dope stock plugins. We just don't know how to use them. We don't know how to put them to use the right way so that they fall into that dope category, you know? But with this plugin here, I've been using this plugin for years, for a very long time, and that is the Fruity Delay 2 by ImageLine. This is the stock delay plugin that comes with the program. They have normal delays as well, but this is one of the ones that I use the most because with this one you can obviously control your input, your pan of your input. So is it coming through the left or the right, and then the volume of it, of how much is, you know, going into the actual delay itself. They have a feedback section here, which is how much feedback you'll get from a delay. You know what a delay is. It's kind of like an echo. They have invert knobs, so you can kind of invert the signal, or ping pong, where it'll kind of just bounce, you know, back and forth. I usually hit the ping pong option, especially when I'm putting things over the sample. So I'm going to show you a little bit about this very simple plugin. It's not a lot. I just like it because it's something that adds a little bit of ear candy to my samples. That's why I like it. And I'm going to play you what I mean. This is the sample without this delay on it. So nothing, right? But what if we put a little bit of that delay 2 on there? It's just small little things like that that make a big difference in your music production. You know, adding delay, a little bit of delay to your sample, maybe adding a little bit of delay to like your piano sounds, or just something like that, to where, you know, in the background, or say we cut that sound out, it just has like a little bit of tail on the end, you know, where it's kind of just flowing out. I like that. Again, that's just something that's called ear candy, and that's just something that, you know, a lot of listeners don't know that they're hearing it, but it's what makes the track. It's what makes the track better, adding just a little bit of extra flavor. This Fruity Delay 2 can do that for you. I'll play it in conjunction with the drums, and I'll kind of bring the delay, the mix knob up, and pull it back down so you can hear the difference. Even though it's a stock plugin, it comes in handy, very useful tool, and I think that whatever DAW you're using, you should definitely be adding some type of delay on your samples, your instrument sounds, things like that. Reverb is cool. Reverb just adds an extra room, an extra tail to it, but delay kind of keeps that character going, you know what I'm saying? And there's a specific spot in the sample that may sound good. You can automate just that section of the, you know, the sample to have delay on it, but this is a very dope ear candy plugin. So there you have it, y'all. Those are the 4 plugins that have a huge impact on my beat making process. So over the past 5 to 10 years, I've been using a lot of those plugins for the ones that are not very new, but Serato Sample, the Neve plugin, in the past 5 years, yeah, I've been using those like crazy. I really love those plugins. They really make a huge difference. They really help me and have helped my process. So I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy those very specific plugins, but I am saying take into consideration some of these effects that I am using here as well, because they would definitely help you too. If you like this video today, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I do make videos like this every single week, and I don't want you to miss any more after today if you're not already subscribed. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here, and until next time, peace.